Welcome to Wood Talk. Now, here are three guys who put the fine in fine woodworking. Mark, Shannon, and Matt.
What's happening, everybody? It's show number 573, and on today's show, we're talking about, is traditional joinery antiquated? A safe glue for food items, starter tools for odd jobs, why so much four-quarter lumber in Illinois, and ideas for a special... Nothing like the specifics, you know what I mean? We're very hyper-local on this show. And ideas for a special picture frame. All that and more coming up, but first we want to let you know that this show is supported by you. And some crappy ads, but mostly by you. And Matt's going to tell you how you can help us out.
By you! It could be you, or you, or you, or you. Any of you.
Any of you.
You can do it. You can help support the show. You can go to patreon.com/woodtalk and sign up to become a patron of the show. With said patronship, I will thank you, and you will also get an ad-free version of the show. So there are maybe less crappy ads to listen to, other than ones that we talk about of our own self-interest. All right, this week we're thanking England Made It, Michael Mason. I forgot to zoom in. Is it too small? Lycra Woodshop, Michael Hogan, Nathan Lent, Tom M, Richard Lucas, Edward Morimoto, MKT Woodworks, Travis Howie or How, Alzar Sandy Furniture.
All right.
Thank you.
What a great bunch of people there.
That
Seriously,
was wonderful.
You're all beautiful people.
Wonderful supporters.
Best segment yet.
I think so. Do you want to remind them about ad-free shows over
Again?
at Patreon?
It was the best segment yet, but then you forgot to close
You
it
forgot
off.
your last part there.
Well, I put it in the beginning.
Just say it again.
All right. Well, you know what? There you go. There's the people we're thanking this week, and if you want to join, you can also get thanked, and you can get that ad-free version. That's over at patreon.com/woodtalk.
There you
Go over there and sign up and get in the list of names to be butchered.
That's right.
This
Like
Name
yours
butchering
truly.
service.
I can tell already the quality of the show is going to be
one's
going to be
gonna
up
be,
there.
it's gonna be
It's
up
going to be
there.
good.
It's getting late, and my brain's not here anymore.
All right. Well, good. You've got the first question here from
I'm
Vincent.
going right into it. I was scrolling to the next page. First question's from Vincent. This is we're all really loopy now. All right. So from Vincent, is traditional joinery antiquated? Well, it is old and traditional and
By its very
antiquated.
nature.
Yeah, there you go. The end. Next question. All right. Vincent says, I'm early in my woodworking journey. I can make pretty good miter joints, and I've chosen dowels as the most cost-effective alternative to the dominoes. I haven't yet made the leap to try miters. What?
He says miters. I don't know if he means that, though, because he says
He
he's
says
gotten good at
getting
miters.
Good at miters. Whatever. I'm just gonna read it.
Just say the word dovetail.
Oh my gosh. Okay. As a woodworker, I can appreciate a clean dovetail, but miters are mostly hidden in the final product, so I don't see the practical benefit. Or is it dovetails again? This is confusing.
I think just read it. It'll be
Okay.
fine.
I'm just gonna jump all the way
just go
back
with
here.
it.
As a woodworker, I appreciate a clean miter or dovetail, but miters are mostly hidden in the final product, so I don't see the practical benefit over a couple of simple dowels. And to be honest, I think most woodworkers would think that dovetails look antiquated. There is exactly one person in my life who would appreciate a well-executed dovetail, and my wife is not that person. As much as I would love the sense of accomplishment, it just doesn't seem worth the effort. As accomplished woodworkers who have these skills already mastered, what motivates you to put in the extra work that most people will never see or appreciate it? Do you do it for the YouTube views, for yourself, or for something else? I think you need more like friends that are woodworkers if you're the only person that will appreciate a well-executed dovetail.
We appreciate a well-executed dovetail, and you can call us your friends, Vincent.
We're here for you.
Send us your pictures anytime. We'll give you those virtual pats on the back, baby.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Send us some pics.
I mean, if you think about what we do just in general, do you ever do anything that's going to be something the average human being that's not a woodworker is going to notice. I mean, that is not the bar
Most
by
normal
which
people
we set.
don't notice the difference between like an end grain and a face grain cutting board. Like nobody cares you can tell a difference.
Or what's plywood and what's solid wood. Like this is
Yes.
not stuff the average person knows. So don't use them as a permission to not do the harder things, the more difficult things.
But I do think that there's a point, and I appreciate, like, as a new woodworker, I appreciate him questioning the man, the dovetail mafia.
Yeah.
Because I do think dovetails got put on a pedestal for a long time. I think that's fallen off a little bit. I mean, as evil as the domino was just like 5 years ago, now it's like, why bother with mortise and tenons, man? Like, they're all dominoes.
Well, people refer to tenons as
Yes.
dominoes.
That's true. That's true.
That's become a little...
So, I mean, all I would say is just, keep doing your thing, Vincent. Like, I appreciate you not just, if you don't think dovetails are your style, there's a lot of people who agree with you. A lot of contemporary furniture doesn't use it. Hell, Queen Anne furniture used it, but did everything they could to hide it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
that crap.
visible. Actually, if you look at the overall like history of furniture styles, most of the time the joinery is hidden. Only like the craftsman movement came out. The arts and crafts people said, let's show off the joinery. Just about every other furniture style said, hide the joinery. So yeah, you're fine. You're
totally fine. The other thing is, if you really feel the draw to do it, I don't know, I can't speak for you guys, but I know there was a little bit of a draw as I saw other woodworkers. It was just the digging into a niche. Like I saw other woodworkers liked this kind of joinery, and that it clearly required a certain amount of skill. I wanted to attain that skill. I wanted to be one of those people. It was just something I thought was appealing. It doesn't sound like it's as appealing to you. You might be a much more practical woodworker. And there are so many things that we do that are not practical. And we don't do them
Like
because
this
they're
show.
practical. Like this show. Like, who
Have
would
you
spend...
seen my shop? There's nothing practical in my shop.
Yeah, it's we've long let practicality set sail.
Oh,
and
that's been gone.
it's been gone a long
not
time
even
ago.
here.
And I, just to address also, I don't think any of us really do it for the YouTube views either. But there is.
Have you seen my channel?
Definitely don't. Definitely not for views.
Look at our numbers. Honestly, the more we get into that deep stuff, the more it actually is damaging to the views.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Right. So we definitely don't do it for the views. But we do kind of what Shannon alluded to, like send us your pictures. There is an element of, at least I know, even if the people in my direct home circle won't appreciate this inlay I just did, I know some people online who will.
Yeah.
And that's where having that little online social group can actually be really beneficial to encourage you to keep going down the rabbit hole that you're going down. But if you're just focused on the final product and you want a practical piece of furniture, you don't necessarily want to get too nuts with it, and you're just having fun, man, have fun. Whatever your version of fun is. Don't worry about what other people are doing. And no, I don't think we're just silly and wasting our time with antiquated joinery. That's just what we're into. That's our thing. We like it.
I'm really into it.
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. It's kind of my thing. I really like it.
I gotta say, I've built dovetail drawers. I've built rabbeted drawers with like pegs. I've built, what are those, like interlocking rabbet?
Like a lock miter joint type thing?
Yeah,
Or
where
a
like
lock rabbet.
There's
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that. I've built those. I've not so far had a drawer fail on me.
Yeah.
Now some of those, but I've also got furniture that's 20 years old that I've built, and so far none of it's failed. So I don't think you can. Yeah, no one can say, it's got to be a dovetail in order to be a drawer.
I literally, in a video I recorded today, as I was assembling a rabbeted shop drawer, right? Just simple rabbets. And I was gluing everything together. I'm like, I'll probably pop a couple of brad nails in here after the fact, just for good measure. And as I was gluing it up, I was just thinking of stuff to just talk about. And I was like, come to think of it, I've done drawers a lot of different ways. And, some very, very simple, some very, very complicated. And I have yet to have a single drawer fail ever. No matter how it was put together, even if it was just rabbets and glue. And that might just be my one data point, my one use case, but I've never seen a failure before if it was at least a good executed version of a simple joint.
Yeah, all my shop drawers are just rabbits.
Yeah.
And they're all there, and they're I
Doing just fine.
I abuse those drawers more than I do a piece of furniture in the house. And
Right.
the drawers and furniture in the house are built like a tank. They don't really need to be. But I like doing that. So you know what? I'm going to do it.
Makes you happy.
Because that's exactly it. I derive my happiness from cutting dovetails for some ridiculous perverted reason.
Hey, I'm with you. They're fun. I like cutting dovetails.
How much you want to bet in a year Vincent's going to send us pictures of his hand-cut dovetails?
Right on. Yeah, it's just part of the journey, man. Just part of the journey.
Look what I did.
It is a little addictive, too, because it was like something I wasn't into in the beginning. But like as I saw more of it, I'm like, I really want to try this. Want to see what it's like.
Yeah.
I did a couple. Like this kind of sucks. Then I'm like, well, of course it sucks. You have crappy tools for this. Yeah. It's gonna suck.
Seriously, if you don't cut dovetails, you have no reason to buy a dovetail saw, and dovetail saws are cool.
Yeah,
exactly. That makes
and then
it
you
so
can
much
cut.
easier. And then
you can cut herringbone dovetails and Bermuda dovetails and
getting
full
chisels
blind dovetails.
and learning actually you should actually sharpen your chisels. That will also make it a lot easier and more fun to cut the dovetails and do any kind of chopping or paring because the chisel will actually cut stuff.
Why do I feel like that's a shot at me?
I think he's talking to you, Mark.
That's me.
Okay.
That was me. That's my story. Is
okay.
I bought a set of marbles from Home Depot, and I never bought a sharpening stone, and I used them for like a year and a half, and then I finally bought a water stone for like $40, a combo stone. And I sharpened those things. And I'm like, holy, what the hell is this now?
What have I been doing?
What have I been doing with my life?
Yeah, seriously.
What the hell? Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. You got to sharpen these things. They don't even come that sharp out of the package. And then you're using them, making them even worse. Yeah, sharpen them.
And I feel like this is something that can happen really with any hobby that's new to people. Like the things at first you get into it, you have a certain interest, and then you get deeper.
Yeah.
And then you get like acclimated to that depth. And then suddenly the things that were ridiculous to you before, suddenly the stupid Lycra pants you made fun of people for wearing before are now in your drawer. Because you wear the Lycra shorts.
I had that exact experience with hand tools. When I got into woodworking, it was who the hell would want to use hand tools? We have always amazing power tools, and power tools are cool and sexy and like
you wear Lycra pants while you use hand tools?
Hand tools. Yes, that too.
I don't know. But he went right from Lycra to hand tool working. I don't know.
He's got a full skin suit and an arrow helmet.
Whatever you're into, Matt. Like I said,
I just need to be aerodynamic when I'm in the shop.
Yeah, it's important.
That's pretty smart.
I move so fast.
Like lightning, this guy. Oh, man. All right, Shannon, why don't you get the next one?
This is from David. He wants to know, why do we think we don't see more sliding table panel saws in woodworking content? While I understand there are very expensive industrial models out there, out of reach of the regular hobbyist, there seem to be many options that are priced similar to cabinet saws from the major brands. I mean, I still feel like they're so kind of out there and specialized. And again, you're talking to somebody who's gotten rid of his table saw, but like I can never think of an example where I needed to have a table saw and I couldn't get by without like a crosscut sled or a miter gauge. I've very recently worked on quite a bit of really nice sliding table saws, like the industrial ones you're talking about. And in every instance, it's a tool that's set up for a hyper specific reason in a joinery shop, usually for like a long piece. We have one set up specifically for the long stiles on doors. And it cuts joinery on the end, and you need to have that support, all the way out, 9, 10, 12 foot tall doors. And that's great, and it's smooth as silk, and, you don't have any problems with moving that bulk, especially when the style is made out of, solid Ipe or something like that. And the style itself weighs 35 pounds, 40, 50 pounds. I can't think of in a hobbyist shop where that's really going to be like the advantage of the sliding saw. A sliding table is going to be worth the space and the expense that sliding panel saw is going to take, which is why, why it's not used in content. That's a totally different question, because I think content is skewing more towards big giant machines and building your own, shop and having a telehandler to move things around. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Matt.
Okay. That's a little, okay. All right.
it's a little hurtful, but okay.
Okay.
But the Lycra thing was bad enough, but now you're making fun of my tools.
But as a manufacturer, like I'm not going to build a bunch of sliding saws because no one's ever going to buy them. And if I am going to build them, I'm going to build the high-end industrial one because, I have factories that are using them, and they use them a lot to the point where they need to buy a new one every couple of years because they wear them out. So yeah, that would be my suspicion.
Well, I've got like two thoughts on this. One, the simple answer to the question.
Sliding saws.
No, I don't. I don't have enough room. I wish I did. The pure answer to the question, though, is why aren't we seeing this necessarily in the content? I think you will find these saws throughout this country. You're just not going to find them in videos of people who are making videos about their stuff. They're in professional shops. They're in working shops where people are actually, pricing cabinets by the linear foot. The people who are making videos on YouTube are not those people. It's a different subset of woodworkers. So you're going to find on YouTube, while yes, everybody to an extent is scaling up because it's fun and that's what they want to do, a lot of the American woodworking market is hobbyist based. Like when you go to other countries, a lot of times these people are watching the American channels for content because in other countries, this is an occupation. It's not necessarily something people do on the weekend for fun. And I think the hobbyist market has driven the low-cost table saw market, right? So this low-cost format, and then everything from there is you add more quality. You've got more money to spend. I think it's easier for these companies to simply scale up to a more heavy-duty version of that kind of tool, and that's what we understand as American woodworkers. The whole sliding saw, just more space, more electrical needs, costs more money, and it is really, I think, driven by a lot of plywood use as well. You were talking about doors, but certainly for cutting a lot of sheet goods, that's where you're going to see a huge benefit to having a table saw like that. So I just think it's a combination of things, but specifically with YouTube, I think as soon as cabinet shops start deciding that they want to make money on YouTube, you're going to start seeing a lot more sliding table saws.
Have a whole content team.
I was going to say, if that happens, I'm definitely out. I'm sorry.
I'm done.
That is what will take me to TikTok right there.
Yeah.
Finally taking the leap.
Come on over, Shannon.
I could say from my
water's
perspective,
lukewarm.
I've had a chance to get one of these saws and I've turned it down. And mostly because it is a little bit of different methodology to use a saw like this in your work. And I already do enough things where I distance myself from the average woodworker just with my choice in brands, let alone having a completely different format tool for one of the most popular power tools in the American wood shop.
Yeah, right.
To switch over to that and be like, well, I'm going to cut it this way because I've got a slider. But if you have a regular, normal table saw, you would do it this way. I don't want to do that. And my whole knowledge base on table saws is based around this classic cabinet style table saw. It would just be another thing for me to have to worry about, figure out, and explain. So that might be why me and others won't do that upgrade anytime soon.
Multi-router. Excuse me.
Well, yeah, that's a great example. Where is it?
Yeah, exactly.
It went bye-bye.
Arizona.
It got sold.
It's on the curb. Yeah. No one's even bothered to pick it up yet.
Nope, nobody
Still
cares.
There. Yeah.
Because the domino came out. Everyone's like, whatever. Nobody cares. Okay, let's see. Got one here from Tony L. He says, I have a wooden spoon that's cracked and I want to glue it back. I've read that Titebond III is FDA safe for food. My question is, since the spoon will be immersed in the food to stir it while cooking soups, chili, etc., versus glue used to make a cutting board, will it still be okay to use? Or should I just scrap it and make another one? Thanks for your time. Love the show. Thank you for all the tasty nuggets and knowledge that I've gleaned from all of you. Okay, so I actually don't have a great answer for this. I was hoping you guys might have an opinion. But one thing I will clarify is when they refer to the FDA approval, it's always worded this way: FDA approved for indirect food contact, and in brackets, cutting boards. So does that mean that you could use it in a spoon application, put it, glue it back together and throw that thing in a big bucket of Sunday gravy? I don't know. I honestly don't know, because it's not the same thing as just indirect food contact on a cutting board, which is actually kind of a weird way to word it too, because if the glue joints are all exposed, then it actually is a very small amount of direct food contact.
Yeah, right.
Right? I never understand the indirect
I'm not really sure
food
what
contact.
direct food contact would be in the case of glue. Like, you made a cutting board out of glue? Use it as a glue finish?
Use it as a finish. Maybe.
There you go.
Is that where we're going with that?
Yeah. So, I mean, if we're just talking about a glue joint and a cutting board, and it's safe enough for that, with the glue joint, you also don't have much exposed glue joint area in a spoon that's been repaired but what you have is the submersion in a liquid and a hot liquid at that.
Yeah, I see. And that's the other part, like the heat thing. Certainly there are glues designed for heat like that, but I don't know, maybe just sidestep the whole issue and use that paste that they give to like kindergartners that you can eat.
Yeah, totally edible.
You're totally fine. But his answer is in the question. I mean, if I read this literally, he said, should I make another one?
Yeah.
So did he actually make the spoon that cracked? There's your answer, man. You're a woodworker. Go make another one.
You bring up a real good point there. Because I was thinking that the spoon was precious somehow. And then I'm thinking about it, I'm like, you know what I would do if one of my like little spatulas that I made or one of my spoons that I've made broke? I would throw it away and go make another one. It's not worth repairing.
Yeah.
Right?
It's an opportunity to go make another spoon. Put on some banjo music and, sit on your stump in the film a YouTube video. People can't get enough of spoon carving.
Do it for the views.
Yeah,
here we go. Do it for the views. Yes.
I mean, the funny thing is, part of me, like the practical, real world, my neighbor asked me this question kind of answer is, it's fine. It's going to be totally fine. No one's going to grow an extra leg. It's going to be fine. But then the safety side of my brain and the person doing a show that goes out to well over 5 people makes me want to be a little bit more cautious and say, don't even worry about it. Just like make another spoon and put that one on a shelf, fix it, and then put it on display somewhere.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Glue it together and then build a frame to go around it.
Yeah.
And hang it above the stove.
Yeah. Or use them like salad tong things. You know what I mean? For like not so fully exposed applications.
Yeah, just don't you yourself eat whatever's served up. Like make that be the bowl that serves salad to your mother-in-law or something.
That's it. Keep yourself safe. Safety first for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, we're going to take a little... You're welcome. We're going to take a little break here, think about what we've done and whether it was good for the world.
Gonna stir our coffee with spoons we've glued back together. It's going to be great.
We'll see you in a bit. So we got more questions. This is a real question-focused show. Shannon, you're up again.
Patrick wants to know, why is all my local lumber 4/4? I moved back to my hometown recently, was trying to find locally sawn lumber, but it seems like everyone around here is milling to 4/4 or 5/4. It's Central Illinois, and the mix I have seen them selling is oak and walnut with some occasional cherry and maple. Finding 8/4 something that I can, after milling and finishing, end up around 1.5 inches seems to be a challenge. Is this normal? What thickness of wood do you try to buy or mill? I try to buy what's going to work for my project. I don't have like a typical thickness that I buy, but I can tell you that no, I think this is quite normal, especially in your part of the world where any lumber that is produced is going somewhere else. But actually in your part of the world, there isn't a lot of lumber being produced. Your adjoining states are producing a lot of white oak, fair bit of walnut and maple, but not really a whole lot in your neck of the woods. And honestly, the retail lumber market, first of all, here's the next question. The stuff that you're buying, is it rough sawn or is it S2S? I'd be willing to bet it's probably S2S because like 90% of the retail lumber yards that I work with day in, day out are already surfacing their lumber. They can show more of the grain. Their turn rate is higher because they've gone that extra step to mill the lumber. They have less claims and returns because people can see what the grain is. And it's already been milled down to kind of a workable thickness. But there's other variables here. The thicker stuff is harder to dry, more expensive to dry, more expensive to maintain, and it has a much, much slower turn rate. In other words, it sits on the shelves a lot longer. No one sells nearly as much 8/4 and 10/4 as they do 4/4 and 5/4 because most of the world, in furniture and in most stuff revolves around that 3/4 inch thick board that you buy at the home center. So, just as far as the investment, if I'm buying from my local lumberyard, I'm going to buy the stuff that I know is going to sell, or more importantly, is going to move off the shelves faster. Whereas the stuff that's going to sit there, because lumber, if it sits on the shelf for 5 years, it's not always that good. It absorbs moisture and it dumps moisture. And plus it's just this is money that I sunk into buying stock. And if it's not moving, I'm not going to keep buying that stock. So yeah, it's just market economics. Much more demand for 4/4 and 5/4. And also your part of the world, you just don't make a lot of lumber there. They make it all around you, but not really in your neck of the woods.
There you go.
Oh, a question
The
from
end.
Matt.
From Matt, read by Matt.
Read by Matt. Okay, so Matt, his grandpa is turning 93 in November. He passed his love for woodworking down to my dad, who passed it down to me. My most recent trip to visit him, he sent me home with some walnut and some white oak that he has had for 50 to 60 years and has moved along with him to multiple states. It was kept outside, so I will have to do quite a bit of milling to get it down to usable wood. Before I left to go home, I took a photo with him, and I would like to build a picture frame for the photo to give to him on his birthday. I want to build it with the wood that he gave me. I want it to be special and something that showcases the wood as much as it showcases the photo without overpowering the photo. I'm looking for suggestions on style and use of material. Would white oak look good with some walnut accents, perhaps? Appreciate you guys and any input you can give.
All right.
I see that Mark included the picture frame project over in the guild, which is a fantastic way to kind of get into making picture frames and the weird things you can do there. As a anecdote to this, which I think applies pretty well, we planned to do that together without actually deciding what the heck we were going to do. So I remember flying up to Mark's, and I got there, and then it was like an evening. And the next day, we're like, okay, we're going to start working today. And it was the morning. We had breakfast, and then we're like, okay, what are we making? And like, I don't know. So I just remember, I have this visceral memory of us sitting at like your kitchen table with our laptops on like Pinterest or like Google Images, looking at picture frames, trying to figure out like what kind of designs you want to do. Do you want to just do biters? You want to do some other kind of joinery too? Yeah. So that's all to say that like the sky's the limit with this stuff. You can come up with like all kinds of different things. I think absolutely a white oak and some walnut together. I think those would be an amazing pairing. As far as what I ended up doing, I think, if I remember correctly, it's been 7 years.
Yeah, I can't remember which one you did.
I did the walnut cove with like a cherry edge banding on like the inside and outside. And then I did like some kind of figured maple with bridle joints. I think.
Proud bridle joints.
Yeah, I think that was mine. I think I remember doing that. I have no idea what you did. I don't even remember.
The rest. So there were a total of 5 of these. Some are mitered, some are real complicated, some are really, really simple. But I definitely think this will be a good like primer to kind of give you an idea of what things you can do, and at the very least, just get the creative juices flowing. And there's 2 of the 5 are actually non-mitered solutions for frames.
Yeah, we were trying to do things that weren't mitered specifically to kind of switch it up a little bit.
Yeah. So I think that might be a good place to look. But again, he could do what we did. He could go to Pinterest or do some searches for frames. But I do think practicing some restraint is always good when you really do want to highlight the thing in the middle, right? It can be very easy to go so flashy with the frame that it competes with the image. And that's not ideal, right? So more restraint, the better on something like this.
I got to say, though, walnut and white oak is one of my favorite pairings. I think it looks really good.
I agree. I've got a table right back there. Walnut top, white oak legs, and a little walnut decorative thing. It just really goes together nicely. Okay, so our final thing that we have here, where did it go? Where's my screen? Okay, we've actually got a voicemail that may be my favorite voicemail we've ever gotten, and you'll know why pretty much immediately.
Well, lads, it's Padraic here from Ireland, and I was just right. So before I start here, a bit of slang here in Ireland. We'd call like an old odd job or something your ma's friend would get you to do, a nixer. It's kind of side jobs for cash. We'd call that a nixer here in Ireland. So I was just wondering, I'm doing my apprenticeship now at the minute, and I was just wondering what tool should I be buying first to be able to do these nixers? Like, so I was thinking track saw and you'd be able to do kind of media units and stuff like that. You'd be able to do a fair bit with a track saw. Or then am I even worth just going a circular saw and just getting a straight edge? Like, is the track saw even worthwhile? So I just wanted to hear your ideas on it. Just kind of the first tools to buy, sort of job.
Freaking delightful, that guy to listen to.
That was wonderful.
I
Brilliant.
was waiting for the reveal that it was just someone putting on an accent, but I think it's
very convincing
legit.
one.
I was going to say, if he was putting that on, Oscar, because he's got all the wonderful things that I love about the Irish accent.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
What do you think? And
so what did he call it? A nixer?
A nixer,
like a mixer, but with an N. Nixer.
Yeah, a nixer. I think I've heard that before.
Yeah,
but it's mainly because I watch so much like British related YouTube cycling videos.
Kind of familiar.
Yeah, but man, loved it. That was perfect.
I got to tell my wife I got a lot of nixers to do this weekend. So
yeah,
see you on
Monday.
Monday.
A long list.
It's a tough question though, right? Because like I have a toolbox that has my nixer stuff in it, the stuff that gets done around the house, and I definitely have a cordless drill in there. Mm-hmm. Like that's the one that gets used all the time. But that's kind of different. Like, that's like hanging picture frames and like fixing things that break, drawers and a screw gun. He's talking doing like carpentry work for like hire, I think.
Yeah, real bigger jobs.
So my definition of a nixer and his are probably a lot different, but
he sounds cooler when he says it too. So
yeah, he does. Most definitely. So I don't know. I think he's on the right track with the I didn't even plan that. But more specifically, the circular saw on a straight edge. Like I do some price comparisons. Like the amount of money you could save by not buying a track saw and buying a good circular saw would then allow you to buy that cordless drill and a few other things.
But gosh, track saws they've come down in price so much, and they are so much better. I mean, I always say, you could just use a straight edge and a circular saw, but just being able to throw that track down, it's going to save him time and it's going to give him better results. And he's working on a job site, so he's probably going to want good dust collection, and a lot of them have that as well.
Yeah. So you got to get an extractor too while you're at it.
Get an extractor. How about I would say a jigsaw would probably be good because hard to cut curves with a track saw. So if he's got something,
but, not impossible.
Don't ever say it's impossible because Matt will show you it's not. But a jigsaw, if you're looking at that portable battery powered kit that you might have along with the drills, you could potentially throw a jigsaw, or even what is a real problem solver on a job site is the oscillating multi-tools.
Yeah.
Just in terms of like a thing that needs cutting and you can't get to it easily any other way. Or even I would absolutely want one of those.
Quick sanding too. You could put a sanding head on it and sand something, or like massage the jigsaw cut you just made.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you actually just said it, Mark, and kind of like breezed over it really quickly. But those like 18-volt combo kits that I know here, you can get them at any big box store, and every from Ryobi to DeWalt to Makita all have their like, especially at Christmas time and at Father's Day, the 7, 8, and sometimes 12 tool 18-volt, 20-volt deals. I don't know how available those are in Ireland, but that covers a lot. When I look at the contractors who come out and do a lot of job site work, that's the important part. Heck, they make cordless track saws now too. They make cordless table saws, for that matter.
Everything's cordless if you want.
And like they work really well too. Mm-hmm. Like it's crazy how long they run. So I don't know. I do think that one of those combo things, this is a cop out because he asked which tool to buy first. The first tool to buy is one of those combo kits because that'll get you a lot of stuff. You could do a lot of different things, because it kind of depends on what your nixers are. He said media units. So that's cabinetry. Well, in which case, a track saw.
There's the track saw.
Heck yeah. A lot
of
a
small miter saw.
Nah.
There's a little redundancy there.
With a little trim or something?
Right, but if you're cutting small pieces of trim, you don't want to use the track saw for that if you can avoid it.
Yeah, but have you ever been to the British Isles? They definitely don't have square corners in the house.
It's okay.
Like
doesn't need to be
you need
square.
one of those angle finder things too while you're at it.
Ah, yeah.
The Capex
Definitely
comes with one of those.
That'd
You
be
get the most
handy.
expensive miter saw you can get.
Yeah, and I know he did ask for first tool, but I also think our job is to give him a bunch of ideas, tell him what
Here's a
they might be
roadmap.
good for,
Yeah.
and then he decides, like, by what he's building, what he might be able to use.
Palm
How about
router,
a block plane?
another one of
Maybe
those
something
useful
like a block
things.
plane too. Something.
Well, see, that's where
Set
I
of
want to go,
chisels.
but people expect me to say stuff like that because you said miter saw, and I was like, no, just buy a handsaw. But
Yeah. But he
People
wants
don't
to
like
get
to
the
hear
job
that.
done in a reasonable amount of time, Shannon. Come on.
how dare you?
How dare you?
I hate miter
How could you
saws.
say it to me?
I hate them.
Just got to use a good one. That's the problem. Well, I don't know that we helped him much, but we do appreciate that
I don't
voicemail.
believe we did at all.
No,
No,
but it was.
I think we helped him by agreeing because, frankly, when these people write in and they already have the answer, they really don't want us to tell them anything different.
Yeah.
He's probably already bought that track saw. So, good decision. That was a good choice.
Do you think they walk around over there going like, hey, we have a really cool accent, don't we? And they're like, yeah, you do too. Like, we all have it. We all have a
You
great
sound
accent.
great.
Like,
You sound like me.
no one ever goes around and is like, you know what? I want to sound like an American.
No, they don't.
Right?
No, they definitely don't.
Like, I don't know. But do they appreciate their accent over there? Do they like it? Do they look
I
at
hope
each other
so.
like,
I hope so. Because
we're
it's one of my
awesome?
favorites. It's definitely one of my favorites.
They have to.
I was not just named after a river, a county, and a town in Ireland by accident. I'm a
really?
big fan. Big fan. Yeah.
Okay.
My parents were a big fan anyway.
All right. Well, that was great. Okay. So I think that's going to do it for us today.
Mark,
Remember this?
desperately trying to end the show.
Just want to talk about Irish accents. Let's stick on that for a while.
Get us out of here.
Remember, this show is made possible by the generous contributions of our patrons, and if you'd like to help out and get your name read on the show, and also get an ad-free version of the show, head over to patreon.com/woodtalk.
And send in your questions, or better yet, if you are in Ireland or at a place that has cool accents and you recognize you have a cool accent, send us a voicemail. Record it and then email it to woodtalkshow@gmail.com. We want to hear it. We want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
What you think? You
What you
think?
think?
I love it. Love it.
Oh, good stuff. All right. Well, thank you for listening, everybody, and we will catch you next time.
Goodbye.
Toodaloo.
Goodbye. Good luck on all your nixers. It sounds so stupid with an American accent. Nixers.
does.
It does.